The Volkswagen Group relies on selling cars in China. For example, if the Volkswagen Group couldn't sell any more cars in China tomorrow, like Mitsubishi and Jeep, they just had to pull out of China, they'd be bankrupt within 12 months. They just simply could not afford to service their debt. They owe more than $200 billion US, and they just can't do without the revenue and profits that come from China. That's a simple fact. If you would disagree with that, let me mathematically know how the hell they would be able to pay their debts. They just would not be able to. Here's the thing. The Volkswagen Group are trying to expand in China. They claim that for their business to succeed, they need to expand in China rather than do the opposite, which is what they're doing right now. So they're telling investors that by 2030, they're going to be selling another 1 million more cars per year in China than what they are today. That's not really going all that well, though. If you actually have a look at Volkswagen Group's sales numbers in China, they're shockingly bad so far this year. This is highlighted by the fact that Volkswagen's what's meant to be their most impressive EV is not selling. When I say not selling, I mean literally not selling. China is the biggest car market in the world. Last year, more than 31 million cars were sold there. That's nearly 40% of the entire global automotive industry. And yet, Volkswagen sold nine of what is meant to be their best electric car in January. 9 in total across all of China. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching the Electric Viking. Great to have you with us. In Germany, Volkswagen sold 3,140 ID.7s in January. 3,140. In fact, it was the most popular electric car in Germany in January. Not a lot, is it? 3,140, but it's a lot more than 9. The situation in China, in my opinion, is extremely problematic. It shows you that Chinese buyers still don't think the Volkswagen makes good electric cars, even though the price of Volkswagen's electric cars in China is about half what they cost in Germany. It's literally half. In some cases, it's actually less than half. This shockingly low figure was published by a financial market analyst, citing company documents. Volkswagen itself has not confirmed the figures, but it has responded by saying it expects a challenging first quarter. In other words, it's confirmed the figures. Now, you can see here the Volkswagen ID.7, since it was launched, it's been a complete flop, a complete and utter failure in the world's biggest EV market. We're talking a market where more than 11 million electric cars were sold last year. Look at the sales numbers here. I mean, the best month ever was January last year when they sold 2,290. But, really, look at the averages. They're selling, 300 a month. Just nothing. If you're thinking to yourself, January in China, they don't normally sell that many cars. Well, 744,000. 744,000 electric cars were sold in January in 2025. 9 of them were Volkswagen ID.7s. Now, China's Volkswagen board has explained its new strategy. They're saying that while they have to act, because almost exactly a year ago, Ralph Brandstad, the board member responsible for China business, one of the guys who helped get Herbert Diess, the former CEO, fired, was hoping that the ID.7 would provide a big surge of momentum for the company in China. But at the same time, he stressed that the situation would remain tense for another 2 years. Well, he was right about that, at least about the tense part. Overall, Volkswagen recorded a decline of 8.3% to 2.2 million cars sold in China last year. And that meant that BYD for the first time overtook them. Now, keep in mind, those 2.2 million cars that Volkswagen sold, they only own 50% of those sales. They come from joint venture partnerships. So 50% of the sales, if there are profits, go to their joint venture partner. You could say then it's, Volkswagen got the benefit of selling 1.1 million in the country, not 2.2 million. Now, assuming that's a benefit, in some cases, it's not going to be because, Volkswagen is clearly not making a profit on the electric cars that it sells in China. At the end of the New Year celebrations, Ralph Brandstad now presented Volkswagen's China strategy on his LinkedIn account. It has to take off if the company wants to be successful again in the Middle Kingdom. An important building block is the development of the new China platform called CMP, Compact Main Platform, which is specifically tailored to the requirements of local customers, says Volkswagen. Over the course of the year, Volkswagen plans to present electric car prototypes based on the CMP in the price-sensitive A segment. To tell you the truth, though, it is a bit challenging when you look at what Volkswagen's doing in China. It's hard to keep track of it because they have a joint venture partnership with SAIC. So SAIC will, Audi will use SAIC's EV platform. They have another partnership with XPeng. Then they have other joint venture partnerships as well with other car companies in China. Then they're making this other EV platform. There's sort of stuff going on all over the place. I mean, then that doesn't even include what they're doing in the United States with their new joint venture partnership with Rivian. The ID Unix sub-brand launched in 2024, and it's set to present another B segment model. At the same time, Audi plans to introduce a new brand which won't have the Audi logo because apparently that's not a positive anymore. They say it will appeal to younger and tech-savvy buyers. I don't think that younger tech-savvy buyers have any interest in Audi vehicles. Let's be honest. It just wouldn't make any logical sense. There's better technology options for less money, especially when Audi just said they're getting rid of all their affordable cars and going up market towards Bentley prices. That's what they're saying. That's their strategy. In order to keep up in the currently fastest growing segment in China, plug-in hybrids, Volkswagen wants to electrify more combustion engine models and present a first range extender model. But here's the thing, by the time those vehicles come to market, and there are, probably more than 100 different models of electric car with 800 plus kilometers of range, is it possible this whole plug-in hybrid craze will have finished, will be over, and Volkswagen will have missed that boat as well? I think that's very likely. Despite these efforts, competition from local manufacturers remains incredibly strong. They're innovating faster than Volkswagen is. The ongoing price war in the Chinese market is not only a major challenge for Volkswagen. At the end of 2024, Volkswagen CEO Thomas Schaefer even described it as ruinous. It's ruinous. Volkswagen emphasizes many local competitors lure customers with special discounts. We have always made it clear that profitability is our highest priority. We do not buy market share. That's clearly not true because the Volkswagen Group's profitability last year hit record lows. Record lows. Their profits are so tiny, they're actually on the point of potentially making a loss in 2025. Do the German manufacturers still have a chance in China? Well, here's what some of the German media are saying. Whether Volkswagen's strategy will work and whether the company can hold its own against BYD and XPeng and Zeekr and Geely remains to be seen in the coming months. As expected, Rolf Brandstatter is confident. We have good reasons to look to the future with confidence, he says, but no one knows why. What's Volkswagen confident about in China? What do they got on the horizon? Well, even they couldn't say. It will not be easy for the manufacturers. In fact, it's going to be nearly an impossible task. I believe that most legacy automakers, probably including Volkswagen, will eventually leave China. It's simply too hard to compete with rivals who are driven, efficient, and honestly, they're willing to sell at a loss in order to get rid of companies like Volkswagen. Now, you heard anyone else make statements like that before? BYD's CEO made some sort of similar statement. They're willing to do whatever it takes to get rid of legacy auto and kick them out of China for good. That's honestly what they've publicly said. If you're the Volkswagen Group hearing those kinds of comments from a company as powerful as BYD and knowing all the other players in the market who are innovating at an incredible pace, I honestly think you've got to be thinking to yourself, we can't win. What are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments.